another Canadian icon,
Oh.
the Wolverine.
Oh my God.
You know, in this movie, he goes to the Yukon this time. That's where he ends up. I want to say, too, at the end, you know, when he goes on the private jet with Yukio?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, no, I'd stay, Mariko, but I don't want to fuck you for some reason. Because adamantine would destroy my dick or whatever. So she's like, where do you want to go? And he's like, I don't know. We'll see. I wish he had been like Northern Alberta. And Yukio would be like, God fucking damn it. I don't want to go there.
Logan, pick any other place.
I'm a really big fan of corrugated iron shacks, so I'd like to go to Northern Canada.
This time they're going to switch it up and go to Wyoming instead.
Well, the thing is he goes up there and it's like he's as far away. He always ends up as far away from where he really needs to be as possible. Yeah, and it's just like, dude, what? Just stop living in Alberta. Like, you don't. It's not like you work.
Good advice.
It's not like you work in the oil sands. Like, you're a superhero. You should go to New York.
I feel look. Given the state of the current Stanley Cup finale, can we truly recommend anyone not live in Calgary anymore?
Why Calgary? What does Calgary have to do with anything?
Is it it's because it's close by. Because it's over there.
Well, Calgary wasn't in the Stanley Cup final.
We're gonna cut all this out.
Who was in the Stanley Cup final?
Oil. Oh, Edmonton. God damn it! All right, you know what? That's on me.
Yeah, normally you're like the fucking Don Cherry of this podcast.
Normally I'm like geography.
Normally you know all the team names and you're racist.
But this time I had the Oilers down.
Yeah.
For the right name.
Yep.
Yeah. I could have said something like Flames.
That's Calgary.
Oh, see, so close.
Okay, before we get to the movie.
Yes.
Name every NHL team now. Go.
Beaters.
Yeah, from where?
Catchers. Oh, Beaters and Catchers are actually brotherly teams from Ottawa and
Minneapolis and St. Paul would have been funnier. They're twin cities, you know.
Damn it.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
You fucked up that one.
I know.
Yeah. Well, okay, one more team. Just name one more team.
Sorry to our two friends who are listening to this.
I mean, sorry to everybody anyway.
I bring great shame as a proud Canadian too.
So today we're talking about the Wolverine.
Yeah,
and
baby.
In celebration of the fact that when you hear this, you should be at the cinema watching Deadpool and the Wolverine. And by that, I mean you should be listening to this podcast while Deadpool and Wolverine is on.
Yeah, you should mute the movie while this pod is playing.
Well, you can't mute it in the theater, but you should, you should be there with your headphones
Fair
in. Because this will serve as a perfect commentary to the first 45 minutes or so of that film. We did X-Men Origins Wolverine a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Totally normal episode. We were totally well behaved, and I think we gave people what they wanted in that one. I think people will come away from that being like, I learned something today. And what learned was don't listen to our podcast.
For years now. For years.
Yeah, you should have learned that a long time ago.
But man, I love this movie.
This movie is way better than I thought it would be.
Look.
And I got to say, this is one of the best X-Men films, maybe one of the best superhero films I've ever seen.
The director, Mangold has done his fucking homework.
Yeah. Boy, did he walk the line.
And the
line is the claws of the Wolverine, who's the titular character.
The claws got... Okay, applause for claws.
James Mangold is a man made of directing gold.
Honestly, the Midas touch with his claws. Look, bullshit aside, this movie had really good
quite
plot.
Good. Yeah,
like actual fucking pathos. Like, I got words. Terrific use of setting. When they take you out of back into the downward other lane of Calgary,
downward-facing dog,
downward-facing dog, Alberta, into Japan.
Yeah,
excellent.
Real fish out of water story.
Excellent.
Yeah,
and the first time I saw it, I hated it. Because I was young and foolish.
I think a lot of people did. I was kind of looking up. I wanted to look up like what the people thought of that, and by the people, I always, when I want to know what the people think, I go to the People's Town Square Reddit,
Reddit.com,
which is, and by the people I mean 90% white guys who are overweight like me and need to go out and experts, go for a run.
Big, all knowing of Japanese everything.
And lots of people said, they were like, oh, the Silver Samurai is kind of lame at the end. Like the third act is kind of lame. Man, I disagree. I
100% not.
I thought it wasn't great. I thought the ending wasn't incredible, but I was like, no, I think this is a really good ending, actually.
That was the biggest samurai I've ever seen. Why don't they do more Gojira-sized samurais? Yeah. It's the perfect marriage.
It looks like a Dark Souls character.
It is excellent. Yeah. And also, the whole time you're thinking, oh, sick robot.
No, it's an old Japanese man. Always has been.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful twist.
Yeah. Fantastic. Now, my one big issue, and I was like, this movie is like pretty good overall. I thought the action scenes were almost some of the best in a superhero film, except for the bullet train sequence I didn't like. My one issue, though, is like Viper. Okay. She's the enemy.
Yeah.
Good actress, good performance. I like it. At the end, though, when her plan kind of fucks up, why does she stick around? Isn't she just kind of like, I'm going to bone out of here. This is not going the way I thought it would.
I don't even remember where it happens to her.
I'm not sure what her motivation is. Like, it seems like it's kind of like, why does she care what happens to this old man if it's clear that Wolverine is probably going to stab him in the face? It's like, why does she really care? And then she just sticks around to die. Yeah, like it's kind of a bad villain.
Why? Because she comes through as this like super spy fucking snake bitch. Crazy powers.
She's Poison Ivy basically.
She's basically Poison Ivy. Yeah. And so money is not a motivation for her. She can get it whenever she wants.
But also after a bit in that latter half, it's kind of like clear that maybe money, you'd rather be alive than have whatever money this guy's going to pay you.
Yeah.
And this little head in the Silver Samurai.
No.
So I kind of at the end, I'm like, why is she even fighting this? She should just kind of be like, I'll watch.
They threw so much into this film and it still doesn't feel like overwhelming. And I was actually counting like some of the things like, okay, like fucking cool bear in the forest taking a piss. Mm-hmm. Excellent, like same bear tragically dying, but then getting a sick revenge story immediately for the bear.
Hugh Jackman.
Big, like,
speaking of bears,
fucking Van Helsing energy because he comes in all broody and cool and with his grungy hair.
To be fair, he lives in the Yukon.
Yeah.
Of course, he's
also
broody
where Van
and
Helsing's from. No. The drop in the A-bomb. A giant samurais.
Cool.
Viper lady.
Cool opening.
Cool opening.
I also think that, I said this when we were watching it, the funeral scene is awesome. It's awesome.
You were saying earlier that the bullet train sequence was not great for you, but that may be one of the most memorable fucking bullet train fights, given that we've seen actual titular bullet train. Yeah, well,
one of the problems,
recently.
One of the issues I had with it was that like it looked like the bullet train was made of like paper mache, and they should really
stick your nails and hold on.
If you're gonna go 1,000,000 miles an hour, you should make it out of metal. I think it's just a tip to the Japanese people, and then also like I mean. This is more of a criticism of the film Bullet Train, but like Aaron Taylor Johnson had an easier time hanging on to a bullet train than fucking Logan did.
He didn't even have fucking nail cutter pipes or nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. The whole sequence with just the one guy on top of the bullet train with Logan.
Yeah.
Hanging on with like a single knife, and then they just leap under each other.
I didn't like it.
It was straight up out of a cartoon film where... we're not going to get into physics right now, but...
Well, I actually did. I kind of went through it on a mathematical basis, and I can disprove how it's impossible, much like Neil deGrasse Tyson, if you want me to. But, like, I didn't like that sequence, but I could see its comic booky elements, and, like, I could understand how that works on, like, a panel. And I've never read the comic book, but it sounds like a cool idea. Nope. Yeah, apparently it's quite good. So Hugh Jackman, speaking of that comic... he like made this movie happen. Like it seemed like he's so excited about playing Wolverine again for like the 5th time that he was like, no, I've got to have this. And he was like a big fan of that comic.
Nice.
And so it was like they had made Origins. This is what I read briefly on Wikipedia. It's like they had made Origins, and then even before Origins came out, they were just like, yeah, I think we're going to have a sequel. Like, I want to have a sequel.
So many years go by,
Hugh Jackman would not shut the fuck up about it. He was like, I want to have a sequel. I want to be Logan again. And then like a week or a couple days after Origins debuts to middling reviews, they were like, yeah, we're definitely going to do a sequel. Which is like,
good.
I mean, it's funny. And then, so friend of the pod, Bryan Singer was offered to direct, as he is offered every X-Men movie.
Yeah.
And I think, and then, you know, he'll probably will be from now on too, because he's a totally cool guy who's never done anything wrong. He turned it down because he wanted to direct Days of Future Past, I think.
Oh.
He wanted to direct a worse X-Men movie, but not a bad one.
Wait. Days of the Future Past is better than the Wolverines.
I disagree.
You like these better, hey?
I like this movie better than Days of Future Past. But like I said, though, I think I've said it before, I'm pretty sure Days of Future Past is the most nonsensical thing ever created.
It does pack in like, but then there is the element of like exciting. It's the Avengers of it all. Like, you get to see more than one character. You get to see the whole crew get together.
Yeah, like you get Picard and you get fucking Ian McKellen. And you get Elliot Page popping up. Like, you get all of these people to also be on
screen. It's like Nostalgia Max.
Yeah, like with 10. McAvoy and with Jennifer Lawrence and Fassbender when he's not in a racing car. And like all of these things. Like, and there's so many characters. And I'm not saying it's a bad movie, although I kind of suspect it might be. I still am kind of like, I just suspect it's meaningless because it's so insane. But that's okay. That's a litigation for another time. We'll take that to court. But so Singer turns it down. Yeah. And then Christopher McQuarrie, who is now Tom Cruise's favorite director, is writing the script. He did uncredited work on the original X-Men. And he writes this script, and everyone's like, the script is incredible. Christopher McQuarrie is one of the best screenwriters in the world.
Yeah.
Darren Aronofsky was going to direct it.
Oh my God.
For a while.
Really?
Which is, I mean,
what a choice. Why?
Darren Aronofsky, like, I hate him as a director. Like, I was going to make the joke that, like, if he had directed this film, it might have saved the world from Black Swan. But Black Swan came out before this. So he was probably going to do it just after Black Swan. Yeah. Then again, I'm being mean. I don't hate Darren Aronofsky. But I don't like a lot of his movies. But I like a couple of them. Mm-hmm. But if there's any director who it's like, I want to see their comic book movie, it would be someone who I dislike enough, like Darren Aronofsky, to be like, well, can you make something likable? You know? And then
thankfully he didn't get his hands on this one.
I don't know. It would have been an interesting thing to see, you know?
I feel like it would be even more leaning into, you know, I see where Wolverine tried to get into a little bit more of the gender politics and like of family finance and like leaving the fortune of a company like Apple into the hands of like the great granddaughter who only has an Android phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And that kind of like, that would have taken precedence as plot and crucial chat if Aronofsky or someone more leaning into drama would have wanted to do.
I think Aronofsky, I'll give him credit that he's like kind of hard to pin down as to like what he's gonna make a thing be, because like it's not like anyone was like, oh yeah, Mother was exactly what I expected. You know, like
still haven't seen it.
You've never seen it?
I've heard it's terrifying. Is it
It's not what you expect.
Okay,
you should watch it. That's one of the Aronofskys I like, actually. That's all right. I remember when I saw that, I was like, I mean, I don't like Darren Aronofsky. This might be one of his best movies.
Damn.
In my opinion, because it's actually okay. Although The Wrestler is probably his best movie.
If it made J-Law feel terrible, then
it's
got to be good.
It makes everyone feel terrible. Everyone who watches it feels terrible. But Mother is a good movie. But I'd be curious to see Darren Aronofsky's vision. But then he kind of like, he left because he would have had to be out of the country for a long time. I think he had a young child or a young family, and he was like, I don't want to be away from my family for that long. Fair enough. Totally fair, Darren. And then he went and made Noah. I think.
Get it, Hermione. She's great in it. It's the one with
have you seen Noah?
The Ark, right? Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. I really liked it.
I think he made Noah. I could be totally wrong.
Okay.
Did you know that this is? I've never really clarified this, but a friend of mine told me that. Did you know that Noah was like Darren Aronofsky's the movie he'd wanted to make forever? He had been like, this is the one.
Big fan of the Bible.
It's like it was like what Dune was to Villeneuve.
Oh my gosh!
And then it's like not a great.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but
it's
I know
Gladiator,
it's
okay.
We should do it on the pod actually. That'd be
yeah.
fun.
And look, like there are impressive moments and there's like cool effects and it is a really cool story to tell. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they kind of.
Russell Crowe plays Noah, right?
Russell Crowe is. Yeah.
Look, Aronofsky is just not my. He's one of like the filmmakers who's considered kind of like a great auteur that I'm just like, he's really not my vibe at all. Like I just cannot get into his movies. Although again, I like The Wrestler and I like Requiem for a Dream. But yeah, so Aronofsky was going to do it and then he ducks out. And then they get the king of manly love films, Mangold. Who I love James Mangold.
He's
this is
so
actually
good.
now our second movie we've done of James
That's
Mangold.
right.
Because we did Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, a movie with it's pretty perfect. As far as I recall, was that was where we landed on that one. Yeah. A movie with no problems whatsoever.
Oh my god, I want to.
Yeah. Another movie with brutal head injuries that go unnoticed.
Dude, at least this time they're actual superheroes.
Mads Mikkelsen definitely has a healing factor in that one. After he gets domed by that piece of metal.
I don't know what happens, but like every few years, and maybe this is not unique to Mangold, but directors like create these incredible pieces that are outside of their regular voice or like tone of filmmaking.
Yeah,
and then it just hits so hard and it does such a great job. Logan,
because Mangold
2017.
Yeah.
It's like someone else altogether made this film.
So, but Mangold made 2 films in a row that were fucking bombs. Not bombs, like bomb-ass
like
awesome movies. Ford v Ferrari and Logan. Logan and Ford v Ferrari, exactly. But the thing was, okay, I really like Logan. I think Logan's a really good movie. But after I watched it, I wasn't like, James Mangold is like a guy I want to keep track of as a director. He's perfectly serviceable.
Yeah.
But after I saw Ford v Ferrari, I was like, I might really like this guy's filmmaking. Yeah. Like I don't know, like he's just so fucking good.
And I know a lot of people will disagree with me because there's a nostalgia to it. Then he does Dial of Destiny. And I absolutely could not believe it was the same guy.
I know.
What is that, man? That's some like, it was like a joke on the audience for
a little, yeah. You would expect like Mangold after having seen Logan, after having seen Ford v Ferrari,
yeah,
and then them being like, we're gonna bring back Indiana Jones, and obviously that brings out a collective groan from a lot of people.
Like the Indiana Jones of it all was like that one bullet train scene, but the entirety of the film is that train.
But you would think they would be like, hey, we're going to bring back Indiana Jones. And I'm just like, fuck me. Like,
dude,
why?
I know.
But then hearing that Mangold is doing it, I'm like, okay, maybe I can get into this.
Yeah.
And as I said, we watched that movie a bunch of times and I softened on it.
Yeah.
But I still wouldn't call it like a great film. Like it's a fine film.
Yeah.
But it's not like... But yes,
it's no Crystal Skull. I tell
certainly
you that.
When people saw it for the first time, they were like, "What? What
is this a prank?
What are?
Please say
is this the finished film?" Like, yeah. So I mean, yeah. Anyway, James Mangold, a great director.
Yeah,
but
he kills it. Kills it even in this Wolverine film.
I think he's perfect for this film, and I think the thing that he shows later in Logan and Ford v Ferrari that is glimpsed at in this movie is his directing of exciting sequences. Like I said this before, the funeral sequence. I'm not a big guy who's like I love like kind of fight scenes in films.
Yeah.
I think most go on for too long. I think most don't have enough. And then even if they're too long, a lot are not that exciting.
Yeah.
Like something about like maybe John Wick or notable scenes in John Wick or something like that scene in Old Boy where you're like, well, this is like unique and fun for being unique.
It's cool, yeah.
And maybe it's long, but it's like kind of something you've never seen before. Most of them in big blockbuster films are kind of like too long, not enough uniqueness about it that's going on. Something about this one, I was like, it's just so well filmed and it moves at such an interesting, fun pace. And you get to see what so many of the X-Men films fuck up is you get to see Logan stab people in the head.
It's so brutal.
And the other thing too was Mangold and Jackman tried to convince the studio to get an R rating for the film, and apparently there's a cut out there in which there's extra scenes, there's more swearing, and there's more blood, and it would have had an R rating.
Oh my
Studio
God.
said no. Unsurprising, as we talked about in the Origins pod, fought for this one to get an R rating. They couldn't. Then when Logan gets an R rating, they're just like, isn't this fucking cool? And it's like, fuck you, man. Like, this one could have been so much better with an R rating. And
they only gave us like 5 seconds of like, sayonara, motherfucker. And he was great.
He says one fuck in the film.
He says, yeah.
But at least like there's plenty of Hugh Jackman stabbing people in the head, which is like the thing you want to see, man. It's what you want.
I think this is my favorite, like, PG-13 comic book film.
What about Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Have you ever thought of that one?
Be quiet.
Favorite PG... Like, what about Avengers Endgame and shit like that? You like those?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's easy, almost too easy to like a film with many characters, because then it's like the Eternals of it all. You can kind of bungle it up.
I like every part of Eternals. Don't put words in my mouth.
A classic hit with 75 people who you'll never see again.
Yeah.
It's, to me, it's like one of those things where a film is shot in one location and it like keeps your attention if it's done really well. And I feel that way with movies like this, where it's one hero and there's no like big conflicting, like, it's just about the guy and it's done well and it's good payoff.
I was going to say that, like, it avoids a lot of problems we've talked about in many films that we've covered on the pod, where it's like there's too many characters happening here.
Yeah.
Eternals is a classic example. Like, there's too many people to focus on and you never really care about them. No. One of the things I think that's interesting about this movie, speaking of that, is so it solves one of the problems Roger Ebert wrote about with Origins. Why do I give a fuck about a guy who can't die?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
What Mangold said is, he was like, what you do in that situation is you put people he cares about in peril, which arguably they do that in Origins. Not very well, but they do it.
Yeah.
But he's kind of correct. But also they solve that problem by reducing his healing factor. He gets his powers kind of zapped by Viper.
Exactly.
But one of the issues I think with this movie, and also something that they do a good job of, Mariko, they have to build her up so that you care about her. And I would say you kind of do at the end. You're kind of like, yeah, like, I care about this character. She's in peril. Wolverine is helping to save her, even though she also helps herself quite a lot. I want to talk about that. But also importantly, Yukio, who I think was a great character.
Yeah.
And you're like, as soon as she shows up, you're just like, I like her.
I want to see her.
And I want
to see her.
I want to see the sequel of Logan and Yukio. Like,
you know what? It's so funny because when I first saw the movie years ago, I only remember Yukio in the film.
She's great.
And I had no memory of the actual like leading lady that he saves and likes and watching this, I was like, where was this girl the entire time? She's not memorable to me. I'm sorry. It's just
she's okay. She's
you don't
fine.
Really care whether she lives or dies a little bit because you don't get to spend too much time with her. She also doesn't really seem to care for Logan, because she's like, who's Jean Grey? Tell me about Jean. You're talking
their romance is a little pushed.
It's dry. It's not all that great. And then when Logan loses powers, he's kind of a boring dude.
Well, but it makes it mean more. I think that he can't just cut through
it is
everything.
More impactful because then he's like cutting down a tree and he has to take a breather and sit down and eat an apple.
It's what makes Logan the film also makes it impactful too, right? It's because eventually the healing factor wears off. But like, it does a good job of introducing enough characters to care about their imperilment for the sake of Logan.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of those other movies, Eternals, Avengers Endgame, all these kind of films, like Avengers Endgame, I think kind of gets around it because it's 9 hours long. So it's like, well, we have enough time to talk about all these. But like Eternals is also way too long. But it's still just kind of like, fuck, man, I can't care about all these people. Just please focus on one.
The Avengers, to their credit, have like 18 years of history or whatever.
And this is also the 4 films they're building up.
Leading up to.
But even I would argue that a lot of the X-Men films really struggle with that. Yeah. It's like they have a lot of backstory too, but by the time like Apocalypse is just
dude,
fuck me, I don't care about all these fucking people.
Dark Phoenix, why? Like,
we haven't covered Dark Phoenix yet. We'll get to that.
We'll get there.
We'll get to that.
Oh, I'm so excited for it. Oh my god.
Yeah, but like this movie. It was a good call to just keep it minimal. That's all.
all the healthy reverence for like the Japanese masters of action and the storytelling and the whole family drama, and then also bringing in, you know, kind of quote unquote, I guess, American savior kind of. But then great big metal samurai grandpa.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he wanted Logan back if he already has the adamantium powers.
Well, it's the healing factor, which he can see stealing.
That
was never very clear.
Okay, fair enough.
It's never clear how you can extract the healing factor by drilling into a guy's knuckles. But you know,
and also,
why didn't he just when he's like, I want to take your healing factor? Why didn't Logan just say, have you ever tried stabbing yourself in the face with 10 needles? Because that's what they did to me, and that's how I got it.
Dude, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
He's too old for it.
Question. Go on.
In the previous movie of Wolverine, we saw they put him in a tank and they stab him with 10 needles.
Right to the face.
And his bones turn into adamantium.
No, the adamantium binds to his skeleton.
Oh, so it's not like the skeleton is still there.
He does have a skeleton, yeah, but it's like bound with adamantium.
Okay, that makes
sense.
It
courses all through his like body and stuff like that.
Got it.
Not medically accurate, and I say that confidently, even though I'm not a doctor.
So I guess when it binds to it, it should wrap around the bone in some way, maybe
something like that.
Doesn't matter.
That's like the explanation.
When they slice off his claws, they're gone. He's like down to the nucks. But then
he's nuck deep.
He's nuck deep, clawless.
Yeah.
But then his bones come out.
Yeah, he pushes the bones
through
I think like they're like, I don't know, backed up into his arm or something. I have no idea. Like he regrows them through the power of the healing factor or something like that. And he goes nucks deep on Yoshida, his buddy.
Good job.
Another thing I want to bring up before we maybe get to the plot of this. This movie, I read a very so remember this movie came out in 2013. This is important to this. I read this Vulture article about how well this movie passes the Bechdel test, which is like, it's such a 2013 thing to be talking about in films. And it was like James Mangold just kind of be like, I mean, it's not hard to pass.
Wait, does it really?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Don't the daughters always keep talking about their fathers, or?
Yeah, but no, they talk about other things. I'm sure if anything, I have complete faith in the writers at Vulture who said that, and I believe them. Considering I watched this movie a week ago, I don't really remember. And but I was like, oh, that's interesting. But they were talking about how like so many blockbusters from that year certainly are like, you know, really. But like one of the counter examples I brought up was like, yeah, like all of these blockbuster films this summer, like Pacific Rim.
Oh my god! Okay,
I'm like, sorry, but are you wishing something like Pacific Rim was just like nailing it on the feminism scale? Because like it's kind of a silly ask. A movie where I think one of the main characters is named Stacker Pentecost.
Hell yeah!
Is gonna fucking like pass the Bechdel test.
Oh, I kind of want to watch it right now.
Although I will say, Alison Bechdel, that's one of her favorite movies. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, anyway, it was like pointless to bring up, but like it was such a like, it just reminded me of 2013 when that was like a big conversation in films, and now people don't really talk about that. I think because film has progressed. Like
I think also just men are not in discourse about those things, or like the most interesting part of that, or the most talked about part of it, because everyone wants to kind of stay away from pigeonholing themselves into a conversation like that. There's also a lot of representation in films now where
I think it's twofold. Like things have improved.
Yeah.
And also the Bechdel test, frankly, is like, I don't think it's an interesting enough criticism to base your feelings of a film on, kind of. And I don't know, but it was, I bring it up because it just reminded me of that time when that was like, that was such a simplistic way to be like, all of these blockbusters are so sexist. I wish the robots were women. And it's like, okay, well,
Transformers with tits.
Yeah. Why couldn't one of the
with tits.
Pacific Rim robots why can't they be women? They talk about each other about like, hey, how do you like, what's it like being a lady robot? Like, I don't know. Yeah. And Idris Elba is like, oh, my robots talking to each other.
That would be great if the dude robots are like, oh, the old ball and chain, am I right? And it's a literal ball and chain.
Then he picks it up and swings it at one of the kaiju or whatever they're called.
It's like kaiju. That's the bit with you in the kitchen, and every 5 minutes you're like, "Look, babe, I'm doing the bear."
Yeah.
And then you start growling.
Yeah.
Look, babe, I'm the chef, the bear.
That was something we started watching the new Bear season.
Yeah.
That's about when this episode's coming out.
Oh my
And we were at a wedding all weekend, and when I was cooking, every time I would be like, "Hey, look, I'm the bear," and then just rub the
honey,
just rattle the fucking kitchenware around. Just, I'm the bear.
I'm doing the bear.
Look at me, I'm the bear. Really dumb joke.
Really good
anyway,
joke.
You want to talk about the plot of this film?
Let's get into it because it's one of my favorite openings.
Very good opening. Tell me about it.
I just love. Well, actually, you kick it off, and then I'll tell you.
No. I that was like the first thing. Was like, describe the opening for us now, right away. Well, I can do it if you don't want to. Okay, so we open in Nagasaki, but you don't really know that. Logan's in a POW camp because, as we establish in Origins, he loves war and he loves being there. He loves being close to the action. And they put him in a special prison, which is a hole.
Yeah.
And he's just watching, and then he sees these planes, and they drop an atomic bomb on Nagasaki, Japan. And in the meantime, Yoshida, a soldier in the Imperial Japanese Army, he sees all of this happening. He doesn't want to commit harikari or whatever. It's seppuku, excuse me. Harikari, I think, is when you kill someone else. Whatever. Seppuku, stabbing yourself. So he runs into the hole, and Logan shields him with his body.
Because you think that Yoshida's character is so interesting right away because he's letting all the prisoners go. He's opening the cages. All the POWs are like, all right, get out of here. Like, where are they going to go? They're fucking dropping an A-bomb. Where can you hide, possibly?
Yeah.
But while the officers are kind of surrendering to the eventuality of it all.
Inevitability.
He watches two of his fellow officers kind of take themselves out.
Yeah. And they tell him to do it.
He's about to do it when Logan comes out of the cage, saves him, takes him back downstairs.
Yeah.
Into the hole in the ground.
Downstairs.
To
the apartment downstairs. Yeah. Yeah. And basically, he saves him. He offers him the sword, the katana. And he's like, here, use this. And he's like, I don't really need that, but thank you. You hold on to it for now. Because he's like, I don't know if you know much about me, but whing! Like, I got my thing. I got a few of these. I can go nucks deep on anybody.
Yeah. No, not like that. But like poor, this is all going on in 45, and then they cut back to present day. Yukon, baby. Where he's haunted
Logan. He's haunted by Famke, she's like a pretty big
Jean Grey
cameo in this. Yeah, we should say this is like both a sequel to Origins and The Last Stand.
Yes, correct.
Which it's so much better than those films
because he's so good, and like Jean Grey showing up all beautifully in the night in your dreams and being like, "Yeah, Logan, kill her dead."
Yeah.
It's so hot when you kill, Logan.
Did you have fun killing me? Was it fun for you?
It's great when you go nuts deep.
You went nuts deep on me when I was going all crazy. When you killed me. Yeah. She's not yet, I guess, Dark Phoenixed fully because she's dead.
Yeah.
And then he's in the Yukon, and then Yukio comes to find him.
Yeah.
And she's like...
a mutant.
She can see the future of mutants, basically. Yeah. And she's like, my boss, my adopted father, Yoshida, needs you to come to Japan. And he's like, God damn it, I have to do like 5 layovers from the Yukon and shit. And she's like, well, come on, let's go. And he's like, all right. So
at this point, I'm like, why does Logan go?
Yeah. He's got a perfectly fun life in the Yukon.
Why does he care enough to be like, oh yeah, I remember that guy from 1945 that I saved one time?
I mean, he said he would come pick up his sword. I don't know.
Possibly, okay.
He's got nothing else fucking going
Fair
on.
Enough.
He's like, I killed my girlfriend, and
I killed the guy who killed the bear. I killed the guy, kind of.
Yeah. I can't save every bear up here, so I better go. So he leaves. He goes to Japan, and Yoshida is like, I know that your healing factor is like a curse. It makes you live forever. Give me the healing factor, and you can live out the rest of your life. And
healthily. Normal, you can die an old man.
Die a normal guy. And Logan is like, well, you just told me it was a curse to me. Why wouldn't it be a curse to you, you dumb fuck?
Well, he's obviously wanting to take on this great life that he's built for his city and his people, and he's clearly a do-gooder.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, so far.
Yeah. And Logan's like, no, that's silly. And then later, Viper poisons him with something that we find out later, and when we find Yoshida has died over that time, And then there's the funeral scene, the big fight scene, which is awesome, as we've talked about.
Such a good funeral scene where they introduce a friend of the leading lady who is a Hunger Games. What do you call it? Bow and arrow.
Bow guy. No, wasn't that her? What is it? Mariko's ex-boyfriend.
Oh, I thought they were just kids who were competitive in their village together or something.
No, I thought they were boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
Their big fight chase scene with Mariko. Logan takes her back to Nagasaki on the bullet train. We got a mini bullet train movie in there. Like they're trying to kidnap her because the grandfather left her everything. Yeah. Kind of went past the father, who's the swordsman from Last Samurai, whose name I have apparently committed to never ever fucking remembering because I can never fucking remember it, even though he's probably the most famous Japanese actor in the world.
Hiroyuki Sanada.
Got it. I'll forget that for next time. And we know that Logan's healing factor is out of whack. He's healing much slower. In Nagasaki, the Yakuza come and capture Mariko anyway, and they get away with her.
And so you get already, we've seen Crazy Snake Sniper Lady. We've seen Samurai. We've seen the fucking Yakuza. We've seen Bullet Train.
We've seen Hunger Games guy.
My God. It's like the payoff already is so great.
I know.
And then the movie is only like 30 minutes, 40 minutes in.
No, it's much longer than that.
Really?
Yeah, it's about halfway.
Isn't it like 2.5 hours?
No. 2.6 or something. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Whatever.
Okay,
So Mariko's captured by the Yakuza under the orders of her father, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then Hunger Games guy captures Mariko from her father, scoops her up to take her somewhere, just as Logan and Yukio show up. And Logan's like, there's something wrong with me. I got to figure it out. So he sits in Yoshida's bed and finds there's a thing in his heart. And there's a really gruesome self-surgery scene where he rips it off.
Oh, there's a creature, bug or something crawling around.
That Viper put in him.
Oh.
And then Yukio fights with Shingen, who is the sword master, which is an awesome scene. Another awesome scene. And then Logan is like, cool, I'm alive now. And I'm ready to go nucks deep. And so he kills Mariko's father. Which is great.
It's so good.
Great scene.
It's so good with the ninjas and the fucking...
Yeah, awesome.
Oh my God, awesome. Like 50 people show up.
They figure out that she's been taken to some fucking place, and Logan's like, I'm going after her. And then he gets shot with 1 billion arrows, and they kidnap him.
That scene, when they're like treading through snow, and Logan's trying to obviously get to the top of the building, but then there's like 50 guys holding him back, one kind of arrow at a time, tied to a rope.
Yeah.
He looks like the coolest porcupine ever.
Well, it's an obvious like comparison with the bear, not the show. No, the bear that he found earlier in the film, right? Like the wild animal, and which like everyone always calls him a wild animal or a mountain man or whatever.
Oh my God!
And like he's
beautiful.
The bear at the beginning. Not the like, you trying to fuck me, chef bear, like the actual bear.
They're really actually getting to fuck him.
It actually, is like symbolic of him, right? As an outcast of society, kind of, but also you need special something to kill him.
And there's like 100 arrows before he goes down.
Yeah, but he's also shot by a poisonous arrow, which is what that one guy used to kill the bear earlier in the film. So he's like the bear is a symbol for him.
Right. Mangold fucking did it again, my guy.
Yeah. They introduce him to the Silver Samurai. They're like, check out this guy. And he's like, he looks not very nice. And they're like, he's not. And he's
like 100 feet tall. It's pretty intimidating.
Yeah. He like kicks his ass and he drills into his knuckles to try and get that sweet, sweet healing factor, revealing himself to be Yoshida, who faked his own death.
Old man in a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Viper gets killed in a pretty horrific way, which is awesome. She gets her neck snapped in an elevator, which is awesome.
Yes.
Mariko kills her grandfather by stabbing him with one of Logan's claws that the samurai cut off.
The adamantium claws.
And then Logan gets that healing factor back. And that's it. Mariko is like, I wish he'd stay and we could bone. And Logan's like, I'm
going to go dream about my
Tokyo is too much, like, it's too chaotic for me. Let me go back to northern Canada.
I don't think I can sit in another goddamn train without losing my mind.
Yeah. Ramen is fine. Like, it's fine.
Ramen is okay.
Yeah. I would rather eat raw bear meat. And then, Yukio is like, I'm your bodyguard, so I'm coming with you.
I want to see a Yukio and Wolverine movie,
I know. She's a really good actress.
Damn.
I really liked her.
She's only in it for about 20 minutes altogether.
No, she's pretty present. I would call her the co-lead. Like, the second lead, rather.
Second lead.
I think she's pretty much like the secondary character.
Yeah.
But Yeah, she's great. And then there's a post-credit scene which will never pay off. Like, I don't even know what that was about. Yeah.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
What do you remember what happens in the post-credit scene?
He's in Montreal.
Yes.
I know that because they filmed it there. He's in Montreal, and he is going through customs or check or whatever, and everything stops or slows down, and Magneto shows up behind him. He's played by Ian McKellen. And he's like, Logan, I'm really good with metal. How are you, by the way? And Logan's like, Magneto, I hate you. That's more Clint Eastwood than
Magneto, I hate you.
Magneto, I've never really been a big fan of you. Why are you here? And then Professor X is like, I'm here too. I sound exactly the same.
They see me rolling.
And then they said that there's like some super weapon going to happen. And there's this ad on TV that's obviously a reference to something in the X-Men universe for a company that makes weapons or drones or whatever,
right?
Which I think is obviously what they're talking about, but I have no idea what that was about.
I think it's that Agent 23 or 24, which is another prototype of Wolverine.
Which is what is in Logan, right?
Kind of.
X-23.
X-23.
Yeah.
Not Agent 23. I don't know why.
But Logan takes place so far in the future, right?
Yeah.
That it's like... It's
so
hard
that's
to,
like one of many. I wonder if like that lab tried to replicate, because now they've got it. They figured out how to make a Logan. How hard can it be to make an army?
Stab him in the face with 10 metal needles. Yeah.
Lot won't survive the process, but the one that do.
Yeah. The one that do yeah.
Hell yeah.
And and then we're never going to see why that pays off. No. But there we go. That's the Wolverine. That's a good movie. It is a good movie. Yeah, it's a really good. The thing is, if you watch it now, don't watch the post-credit scene, because it's a good self-contained story and will lock in like a puzzle piece to Logan so much better.
Exactly.
Also, I have to point out too, there's a small Kayla reference as well where he hears her voice too. When he kind of lets go of Jean Grey, he also hears Kayla's voice.
Oh yeah, for a second. Yes. That's right.
Yeah, which is good, because the ridiculous thing about Orange is like, who the fuck is this dead girl?
Who is this girl? Yeah, dude, I know.
And she never... I mean, by all rights, like, she should come back. Like, she was a good actress and a good character, and she didn't die, so yeah.
I don't think I've seen her in anything other than Wolverine either.
I told you she got market corrected by Michelle Monaghan.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they look so similar.
Sorry, lady.
And they're just people... Michelle Monaghan got all of the parts she could have ever wanted, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Kayla Silverfox. It's a fact of life. Sometimes y'all get market corrected.
You killed it, though. Yeah. Good job. You're welcome to
dinner.
You
know what, Kayla? If I make a movie, I know that's not your real name. I will not cast Michelle Monaghan. I will cast you. Regardless of the role.
We're gonna get it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So this is the second in the trifecta of Wolverines.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
And then Logan.
And then they get progressively better, which is goddamn.
Well, I mean, there's only one after this.
Yeah, but like of the three?
Yeah.
Damn.
Then they get nominated for fucking Best Picture.
Hell yeah.
Like, Logan is truly a great film.
A better film.
But I'm so... I think I'm not going to see Deadpool Wolverine in theaters, but I think I'll watch it and maybe rewatch the other two.
Don't you want that sense of completion, kind of?
Well, I want to know how they're shoving him into this. I know there's some multiversal content, but I want to know, because another thing we mentioned was like, he is in Apocalypse, right?
Yes.
But Apocalypse is in a different timeline. So what timeline of Wolverine are we talking about in Deadpool? Are they going to reference Origins, which I will be frank is not a very good film, but I think is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Is this the same thing? Because like Logan died. Is this before Logan? Is it a Logan from a different multiverse? Like I just want to know. I'm curious.
Yeah, there's many Earths.
Yeah.
If I'm therefore many Logans.
If I'm truly fucking, there's like a dearth of good movies in August. Like we might as well go see it.
Yeah, we'll knock it out.
Maybe I will. I know you want to see it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get the kids. We'll make a day.
Well, you take the kids, and maybe I'll go if I'm bored someday.
Okay. All right, fair enough. And then we'll talk about it at great length.
I'll be a game time decision.
And it will qualify for this pod. I have a feeling it will.
If it qualifies, I mean, we could do it. I mean,
I have a feeling it will. I don't know. How did the last Deadpool do? Compared the first one was a pretty big hit.
Deadpool 1 is a hit. It's a critical hit.
Deadpool 2, not so much.
Well, that's because that movie sucks.
How much more did it suck though? Oh, not even a little bit. No, 84%.
Yeah, it's a hit, but it sucks. I have a feeling this movie will be well received. I've changed my mind on it.
Actually, yeah.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds, man. I think, you know what? I'll say it here. I think this movie will determine the future of how we feel about Ryan Reynolds as a person.
Really? I already know how I feel about Ryan Reynolds.
I think if it's really annoying...
I don't think it's going to change
to put up with Ryan Reynolds for the next month of like promotion of this film, I guess, which he doesn't really need to do.
I don't think, have you seen him do any promo for it?
Not
I've
really.
Seen little to none.
No. And the thing is, he doesn't need to.
And it doesn't need
to. He's Ryan Reynolds, right? He's just like, I don't know, I'm happy like tweeting stuff and also owning a soccer team.
And exactly.
Sitting in a conference room and coming up with commercial ideas for my stupid gin company.
I got business.
We've talked a lot about the tipping point of Ryan Reynolds and where we're at. And I wonder if it's like, if this movie is like, okay, if it's overwhelmingly positively received, there will be a backlash down the road, right?
When he's going to be like, I'm going to make Waiting 2. then we can all collectively
there will be a personal backlash for me if that happens.
You personally,
but if this movie doesn't do well,
I
do think, I have a feeling there will be so many incredible think pieces being like, are we as a society done with Ryan Reynolds?
Oh my
and it's
God.
like, fuck, man, he's just a guy.
I feel like he hasn't done anything since or around.
But he's
Deadpool's.
He's in the public eye a lot, though.
I don't
not
think
so much as he was a couple of years ago. But
he won't be in movies anymore. I feel like
he's still got Deadpool 3 to make.
Well, besides the Deadpool franchise, like I don't think we're gonna see The Proposal or like anywhere he plays an actor.
But he was in the fucking. But you got to remember too, is like it's not
Underground 6 or whatever.
and he was in Free Guy, which was apparently garbage. Like
shit.
He's
doing.
He's
crap.
just not in our sphere of cinephilia. We only see films by A24, and Ryan Reynolds will never be allowed on an A24 movie. Although I heard he was going to be in Midsommar 2.
Yeah, he's the bear in it.
He's just going to play Deadpool.
Oh, good. Good.
And then him and Florence Pugh he's going to be like, you screwed up your timeline by killing Jack Rayner or whatever.
And then Florence Pugh is going to frown like she does in every fucking film.
And Florence Pugh is going to be like, this man with the ugly face. Is this a drug trip? The movie's in the day.
Did somebody say
brilliant.
Drugs? Okay, Japes.
It's gonna be like, in Midsommar when they're like, yes, and don't go into that little building over there. And then they eventually do. It's like they go in there and Deadpool's like, you found me. Like
someone makes a joke about a bear and then someone goes, you trying to fuck me, chef?
Yeah.
You trying to fuck? No, a real bear. God damn it. Who called this guy?
I wish we were funnier. Anyway, that's what my prediction about Deadpool and the Wolverine.
Fair enough.
We'll talk about it if we ever go see it. So you'll hear about it in 4 or 5 months.
In real time.
Okay. You got anything more to say?
I just want to say that it was a good movie on
Very
second
good movie.
watch.
Really good movie.
It brings back a lot of fun nostalgia for the X-Men franchise altogether. Yeah. And now I'm going to go start watching all of them from the beginning.
And now I'm going nucks deep.
Nucks deep.
Thank you for listening to The Low Ceiling. I've been John. You've been Pri.
I've been Pri.
You have been.
I do stay being.
What's your name?
Pri.
Yep.